Welcome to the Bleav Podcast Network, SoCal Sweat. My name is Anne McDaniels, a former NFL cheerleader and product manager turned actress and model who dreams of being a UFC fighter. Meow. Learning strategies to help motivate others leads me to bring you interviews each week from a range of athletes, experts in fitness and nutrition, and so much more. Thanks for listening to Bleav, the #1 podcast for working professionals, and let's push our endorphins to higher performance through SoCal Sweat. This is your host, Anne McDaniels, and welcome to the second episode of SoCal Sweat. Let's face it, sometimes our workouts get really boring. We do different things in a rotation, but I have a workout program for you that if you love electronic dance music festivals, you are going to love this program. I myself have danced on stage for Armin van Buuren, Deadmau5, and many concerts, and such as Electric Daisy Carnival, Monster Massive, and the colors, the music, the exhilaration, and the calorie burn as a dancer on stage versus, being in the crowd in these workouts with this movement. Well, someone took that in their own hands and created a workout program about it, and I'm going to interview my dear friend Sydney Benner today, and this is what her program is. It's called Flight. It's a musically driven fusion of yoga and high cardio rhythmic dance movement. And to tell you a little bit about her before we introduce her, she's an international fitness instructor and presenter teaching at major events like South by Southwest, Forum Fest, the Clinton Foundation, Electro Dash, and working with top names in the industry like Bob Harper and Jonathan Van Ness. With a Bachelor of Arts degree in dance from California State University, Long Beach, and certifications in yoga, bar, and group fitness, her elevated programming features a formalized level of structure, choreography, and musicality that people love. She's one of the founding trainers on the leading fitness mobile app FitOn, and the creator of the fitness program Flight, that EDM workout fusing the yin and yang of yoga with dance. Sydney has worked with some of the biggest brands in the industry, from Pop Sugar, Lionsgate, Bowflex, Kalinetics, and Within. Her program is now featured regionally at Equinox in Southern California and has over 200 trained instructors from LA to Seoul. To give you one of many testimonials, this comes from Lindsay Cook, who is the co-founder and CEO of FitOn. She says, Sydney is absolutely one of a kind and such a fantastic fitness trainer. She delivers great workouts and has the most unbelievable positive energy. She will push you to move your body and do it in a way where she's always keeping you smiling. And I am smiling because I have my friend Sydney Benner with me today. Welcome, Sydney Benner.
Thank you, Anne. I'm so excited to be here with you.
I'm so excited to have you. Now, I've known Sydney for quite some time, and we've actually worked Super Bowls together and some other events. And we've worked like 14-hour days in heels. And when you get home, you just want to get in your hotel room and, eat and go to bed.
Yes.
Well, Sydney, what did you do last night? Oh, well, I woke up at 3 a.m. and I went to this gym, and then I came here. It's like she doesn't stop. You are amazing. So please tell our guests your backstory, how you got started, and absolutely the introduction to your Flight Fitness program.
Absolutely. So I started with the Foundation of Dance, just like you, Anne, which it's so cool to hear how many EDM artists you work with. That's amazing. But I started dancing at the young age of 4 and just fell in love with moving and fell in love with the flow of dance and the connection it had to music, because I love music so very much. Mm-hmm. So through the many years of competitions and dancing professionally, I majored in dance in college. I got my BA in dance from Cal State Long Beach, and then pursued a career in it and really loved it. But I felt like for me, I was missing the connection to more community and motivation. And I found myself in yoga classes, group fitness classes, and just fell in love with fitness and the community around it and how uplifting it was. And it was very much connected to music. And I kind of fell in love with that art of wellness and fitness. So from there, I was dancing professionally for about 5 years in the industry and loved it, really enjoyed it, but knew that I wanted something more in life. And I remember I was sitting at a dinner with a childhood friend of mine, and it was the first time I could hear the question, So Sid, after you're done with your dance career, what are you going to do? And it was the first time I'd been asked that many times in my life, because as an artist, that's not an uncommon question. I'm sure you maybe could relate to it in certain ways.
All the time.
Right? You're like, okay. So I was finally able to answer the question. And I said, I don't know what it looks like yet, but I want to do something that makes everybody feel a part of something and they leave feeling happier. So it was very simple. And again, it was just that blank statement that I haven't forgotten. I was actually sitting at Lala's Argentinian restaurant in Studio City on Ventura Boulevard.
Know it well.
Yeah, right. So delicious. Anyway, I was sitting there, and that's where I said it for the first time. And from that point on, there was just kind of a movement in the wellness direction where I had gotten asked to train in a modality that was called cardio bar. It still exists as well. So that was where I started my fitness and wellness instruction career. And from there had built my blog, Benefit. But my website now and the foundation of everything that I do is sydneybenner.fitness. And that really gives you a preview of the various things I've gotten to be a part of in wellness. And on top of just teaching many, many hours during the week and loving building all of these incredible communities, I fell in love with creating programming. And then that's how Flight was built, and so on and so forth. So my career just kind of really went in the wellness direction and took off in various ways from there.
That's wonderful. And you're also international. I mean, you wasn't there a run in Seoul, Korea? It was like an electronic daisy carnival run or something like that?
Yes.
I mean,
so this is a kind of an incredible story. So when BFit was running their YouTube channel, I was in partnership with them and had released, at the time, there weren't streaming workouts yet. It was DVDs. So I had shot my DVD. It's so amazing how quickly technology evolves. Mm-hmm. So I'd shot my DVD and had released clips of it on their YouTube channel. From that, it would track back to my website and I would get various inquiries. Well, there was an inquiry that came through and it was about having me teach Flight at the opening ceremony for the Electro Dash 5K in Seoul, South Korea. So I thought, okay, sometimes you get things that pan out. Many times you get things that don't. And that's just the way of how it all works when you're putting your content into the world. Right. And so after various negotiating and realizing, okay, this is something legitimate, I was flown out to Seoul, taught this incredible event in a nightclub, which is actually where I had launched Flight. Originally, it had launched at Exchange in downtown LA, which was the original LA Stock Exchange. But I thought, why not utilize space that's not being utilized? So I launched in dance clubs. And I taught in a club in Seoul, South Korea. And at that event is where I had met my business partner, Katie. So it all just ended up happening. And within, I want to say 3 months' time, I had flown home. I wrote my teacher training manual for Flight in a matter of a month. It got translated into Korean. I got flown back out to Seoul and did my first teacher training in Seoul, South Korea for 40 instructors. And we now have over 200. So it's really kind of special.
Oh, that's incredible. And that's the beauty of this kind of music, because I remember when I was modeling in Europe, that's the first time I had heard of that music, even when I was younger. And my mom is a fitness freak, and I brought that music back to her. And to this day, she runs to electronic EDM music. It's just kind of funny. Her friends are like, what kind of music is that? But she's pretty young at heart. But that type of music transcends, and it's absolutely everywhere. I mean, Germany, it's huge in Germany, and absolutely in Korea. And Korea is a big, big dance market as well.
It is. It really is. They love dancing. They love EDM. And there's so many different, what I love about EDM is that there are so many different genres within that genre.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels very emotional. So in flight, it's very up and down as far as energy goes. There are moments where you're pushing from a cardio standpoint, and just when you think you can't push anymore, we come back down and do a yoga flow. And I'm able to find music that is always fresh. I mean, there's new music coming out weekly that I can connect to. And there's always fresh music I put into my mixes every week. Now all of my classes are on Zoom. So because of what's going on, so we're able to connect community, and I'm actually able to connect to so many of my students around the world, even more so now. So it's been really actually a special time in the midst of such a crazy time.
Absolutely. And I think you kind of got rewarded with this program because look at how many concerts specific to electronic daisy carnivals and things like that are canceled. We can't go to those.
Exactly.
And those are packed with people. And people come from all over the world for those. And look at where you come in. I mean, it's an absolute perfect time.
Oh, it's been really, really nice, because I think in general, the music community, no matter what the genre, but I do feel like EDM community really does come together. So there's been so many online festivals that are going on, and we've put on the festivals here in our home and danced to them, and just supporting friends that are DJs, and they're, putting their fresh music out right now. So it's actually a great time for a DJ to bring new music, and it's a great time to get creative in the studio. So from a movement standpoint, I create from the beats that I hear. So I'm so motivated by music. That's what creates my movement for flight, that it's actually been really fun to have all of this quality time with myself in my now dining room / fitness studio.
Right, I get it.
That I'm able to create, and I value that, and no matter what life brings you, I just always try and find the light, even when it feels heavy. And from that, there can be so much creativity and reward that comes out of it. And like learning new things, coming up with new things, or, having to film and light your material and do it all yourself. And it's very DIY.
It is, but you're very, very smart, and it takes, you fail till you make it. Like so
Yeah.
many things get dropped, and then you're probably like dancing, and then you hit like a light stand. I've been there. I get it. It's not easy. But back to your like even the choreography and the movements.
Yes.
I'm intrigued with the physical fitness of it, because just like what you said, how the music waxes and wanes. I mean, it'll be upbeat, and then it'll slow down, which you can completely choreograph and design movement for that. Well, how great is that for the body? It's almost like intermittent, it's intermittent training, and it's like your heart speeds up really fast and then it slows down.
I love that you picked up on that. I love that you picked up on that. That is literally what it is in a different way. So obviously HIIT training is a great way to burn calories and to burn the body and build cardio and muscle. But on top of that, what I try to do is there is a genre of movement that I feel most connected to, and that's a fusion of dance and yoga with sculpting. So blending that all together, you have two very different energies. And it is very similar in the way that HIIT training works, where you push, you pause, you push, you pause. But this doesn't really give you an opportunity to completely pause, because as you're flowing in yoga, you're slowing things down, but the sweat comes down more from the work you've already done. And it actually takes far more focus and control and balance in the body when you get into those sections. So I love that you intuitively picked up on that.
Oh yeah, because I'm a big HIIT training person. Before I broke my leg, that's what I did all the time, mostly with boxing drills, because that's what I do for workouts. But with that, like you said, you don't stop, and you're also incorporating that movement into yoga, which means your flexibility is better because your body's already warmed up, so that works on the stretching.
Yes.
And it's hard because I think there are yoga poses where it's harder than lifting the heaviest barbell that I can barely lift, because you have to really focus and maintain, and that's a phenomenal workout. Now, with that, the beauty of that as well is people can work out in their homes without equipment. They don't need to go buy, a kettlebell and all these other things. Like, I watched one of your videos. You utilized a kitchen towel.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't have a kitchen towel, you got to have one.
Exactly.
There's no excuses.
I'd be concerned if you didn't have a kitchen towel, and I will send you one if you need one.
Sure.
Right? So, but it is true. It's like you don't have to have a full expensive set of fitness equipment in your home. You can make do with so many options. Right now it's like, I Bleav in low weight, high rep for some of my sculpting. So I'm like, grab your soup cans, fill up your reusable water bottles with water, use your wine bottles, whatever you've got. You know what I mean? There's so many options to what you can use with your body. You don't have to go out, especially, if funds are tight, to, spend a ton of money just to motivate yourself to work out. Use what you've got.
Absolutely. And you and I travel a lot. I mean, I have been known to lift chairs, desk chairs for like squats, things like that. There's always a workout, and there's no excuse on top of it. Like in hotels, you can run the stairs, and then you can come back to your room and do Benefit, do the flight program in your room. So it's so portable, and it's so important in this day and age. But people like you and I that are athletes and dancers, we will always utilize something. I mean, even brushing my teeth, although I'm still on crutches. My goal is to be able to walk and brush my teeth at the same time. But
I'm so proud of you. Listen, Anne, I have been there. And it's like when you're injured and you are a person that moves for meditation, for mind clarity, for all these things, it really is an entirely new way to heal the mind, to heal the body, because you just have to rest. And I think for a part of the population, I think like you and I, that's very difficult to do. So all I can say is you are a total badass, Anne, because the stunts you do and all the workouts you do, you are equally inspiring. And I think you are a total rock star.
Oh, I appreciate that. Like my dad's a coach, and he's an exercise physiologist he has several master's degrees, and he's like, squeeze those glutes and squeeze those biceps in that hospital bed. You always do not lose that tone. And and it was great. I didn't. So that is good. But it's in our blood for that. So before we sign off, I want you to please make sure that we plug every place that people can find you, as well as I'm dying to know your cheat food, because I've looked up your recipes on your YouTube channel. They look beautiful and great artwork, by the way. You and your friend, is it Amy?
Thank you. We shot those such a long time ago. I have not updated my YouTube channel in forever, I must say.
But they're beautiful, even that.
My cheat food, we'll start there, is I am upset. I love chips. I cannot keep them in the house because I will literally eat the entire bag. It's a huge problem. So but when I do cheat, I love chips, and I live for guacamole. Guacamole is healthy, so I actually have no regret with any sort of recipe with avocado. I cook with avocado all the time. But chips and guacamole, bring on the sodium. I don't really have a sweet tooth. I really love salt.
Me too. I'm obsessed with saltines for some reason, but I think that when I came out of surgery, I was so hungry and I got saltines. So it's like Pavlov's dogs. It's like, all I want are saltines. Totally. And I know all the different brands. Like, I don't like premium as much as I like the generic. Generic has a different kind of crisp, but I do like that brand from Walmart. Just like,
totally.
So I get it. So and please plug away where we can find you on every network.
Amazing. So my website is sydneybenner.fitness. I just launched it last week. And you can send any sort of inquiries you may have about booking me. I create programming, I train instructors, and I do a lot of private sessions and work for corporate companies and train them. And right now that's all on Zoom. So I work with Snapchat and various others. And then As far as where else you can find me on the Fit On app. I'm one of the original trainers on there. I've been working with them for almost 2 years. I love the company. I love the app. You can actually get on there for free and do workouts daily. And if you wanted to join the premium version of Fit On, you can use code Sydney20 and you get 70% off the entire year. So it ends up being $19.99 for the entire year. And we are actually providing everything is okay with COVID. We're going in to shoot some new workouts coming up in the next month. So that's very exciting. And let me think where else. You can find me, I have a workout on Pop Sugar you can find me on. And everything else you want to know is really on my website. And find me on Instagram. I'm just my name, Sydney Benner. It's Sydney like Australia, Benner, Benner. And I love to connect to all of you. It's super meaningful. So that's where you can find me.
That's perfect. Thanks for doing that. And I will attach everything on this blog as well for people to find. And just on a final note, Sydney is so good that I was watching her Instagram videos and it showcased 2 of your clients. They had gotten every day after work they would go to Equinox and train with you, and one had gotten in a car accident. I think she got sideswiped in LA. Go figure. Oh, it never happened.
I know. What a
Exactly. So she told the other girl, she was working with a person with insurance, and she said, "You go reserve a mat for me. I will not miss Sydney's class, come hell or high water." Yeah. And then she brought in the picture of it wasn't a scratch. She actually really got hit. I mean, the whole side of the car, but she made it to your fitness program at Equinox, and then she had to find parking on top of it. That says a lot about you.
Oh, you are so sweet. I love that you found that. Yes, those are my students. That's Jackie, my student Jackie that got hit. Shout out to Jackie. She is amazing. And it's been really special. I should note that Equinox has been such a believer in the flight program. We launched regionally in Los Angeles last spring. So that was a really exciting moment. Because I love the company. They value community so much, and I really have been able to create and help lead some of their instructors with various programs that have come in there as well. So that's been really
excellent. Yeah. Very, very cool. Well, I can't wait to try out your programs as soon as everything, I'm back to walking and all of this stuff. I cannot wait. And big hugs and kisses to Jojo Bear, your dog. And he's a rescue, right? Oh, Jojo Bear.
Jojo Bear. He's in his little donut that he loves.
Cute.
So cute, Anne.
Fun little guy. Well, Sydney, thank you so very much. And I will absolutely plug everything on the blog so people can find you. And so proud of you, girl. And I remember when you launched through Equinox last year, because we were working the Glad Awards together.
We were?
And yes, and we were in those matching dresses and looking fabulous and on the red carpets and in the cars. And I remember you talking about it. So here's a year later, and I'm just super proud of you. You're a great friend, and bravo, Sydney Benefit. Very proud of you.
Oh, thank you, Anne. I am so happy to talk with you, and I'm so proud of you. This is going to be a wonderful space for people to come to learn about all the amazing things in the fitness and wellness world, and you are the right person to do it.
And that was Sydney Benner, whose signature program, Flight, is a musically driven fusion of yoga and high cardiorhythmic dance movement. You can check out our classes at any of the links below. Thanks so much for joining me today, and please check us out next week, where I will be featuring Robin Olive, who is a fitness and dance instructor for her company Straight Up Abilities. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe and rate the show on iTunes. We're also available on your other favorite directories such as Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, Luminary, and TuneIn. And again, this is your host, Anne McDaniels, with another episode of SoCal Sweat.